Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig this morning. This is her newest release. I really enjoyed the Shepherd King duology by her, so I'm so excited to read something else by her. I'm about 37 pages in right now, so still at the very beginning of the story. So in this world, there are maidens who are known as prophetess, and people would go to them and give them money and ask them to divine their future. So our main character, Sibyl, main female character Sibyl, is one of these prophetess. I apologize for butchering the female main character's name throughout this vlog. I think the correct pronunciation may be Sibyl. So beginning of the story, the king, who's been just a newly crowned young king, comes to this cathedral where Sibyl and her fellow prophetess live, and he goes there to get his divination. And along with the king, he brought his knighthood with him, and there is a knight in there who's very skeptical about this divination thing. So Sibyl and this knight has had 2 encounters, and they have not been good so far. They just do not like each other. He's skeptical, and she just does not want to take that disrespect from him. And so far, I'm really enjoying the story. I mean, I haven't really got into the plot yet, so we'll see how the story progresses, and I'll check in maybe once I get to page 100 or so. So I have now read up to page 110, so let's dive a little bit into the plot of the story. So earlier I mentioned that the king came to get his divination, and so Sibyl and her fellow diviners spent some time with the king and his knights, and so now the king and his knights have left, and Sibyl and her fellow diviners are back to their normal job of divining. So a little bit of background. These maidens are chosen from when they were young, and then they have about 10 years of tenure of work, and then after that they get to leave. And Sibyl and her friends, their service is almost up, so it's almost over. They're almost tasting freedom. However, suddenly, one by one, they start vanishing. They start disappearing, and she talks to the head of the cathedral, and the headmistress is like, don't worry, they just ran away, like we'll send this. Oh, I forgot to mention, there are these gargoyles that they can actually talk and do things. So these gargoyles protect the cathedral, so the headmistress is like, we'll send these gargoyles to go and find your fellow diviners, will bring them back, don't worry, they just ran away. But she thinks that there's something else going on, that they kidnap or whatever, something is going on. So she goes to try to get help from the king. And who does the king send? The knight that she hates. Yeah, and that's where we're at right now in the story. Now, my personal thoughts about the story so far, I'm really enjoying it. Like, I think I might even like it more than the Shepherd King duology. It just flows so well. I love the writing, I love the plot, I love the story, I love the tension between the characters. There are still so many more secrets to be revealed that I'm just curious and excited to learn about. Well, I'm gonna continue reading, and I'll check back in once I'm deeper into the story. the next morning and I have made it to page 268. So from page 100 onwards, the story kind of progressed very quickly. If I say too much about what's happened since then, it can be quite spoilery. I'm going to try not to spoil too much. So Sibyl and the knight meets up with the king and another knight, and they go on an adventure, and Sibyl starts to find out that what she thought she knew maybe isn't the real truth. I didn't go into detail about how these prophetess, these diviners do the divination, but it is explained in the very beginning of the story because Sibyl was chosen to do the divination for the king. So we watch how she goes through the process. There is a ritual, and then she dreams. So in her dreams, she sees certain objects, and these objects are how she kind of tells if it's a good fortune or a bad fortune. So there are like 5 objects. There is the coin, inkwell, ore, chime, and a loomstone. So I'm not gonna go into detail what each object means because I don't even know myself, but I think coin means like wealth, and inkwell probably means like knowledge, and so on. So she sees these objects in a certain order in the dream, and then she interprets these dreams on whether it's a good fortune or a bad fortune. And during Sibyl's adventure with her friends, she kind of learns about these objects as well. She starts to learn more about the lore of these objects. I like a good adventure story, so this is going really well for me. I also really like learning more about the lore. I do think the romance is a little bit on the side, but I like it. I like more fantasy and just a little bit of romance, because a little bit of yearning, and because when the romance does hit, it's gonna be a lot more impactful, and I like that. I'm gonna share my final thoughts once I finish this book. I just finished the book, and the ending is making me so emotional right now. Oh my gosh, that was so good. That was so good. I cannot wait for the next book. So let's talk about some final thoughts. So this book is tagged as a gothic romantasy, so I wasn't expecting some crazy high fantasy complex magic system. So I feel like in the context of a gothic romantasy, I feel like the author did a really good job at setting the atmosphere, and then her writing is also very strong. I really like the author's writing style. It just really ties and creates the gothic mood so well. I like all the characters. I feel like there's a bit of like a found family, and there's definitely character growth. Each character kind of plays a role to bring the story together. And then the plot, I enjoyed the plot. I like a good adventure story, and then I enjoyed how the secrets unreveal themselves slowly, bit by bit. Overall, I think the story has a good balance, and I don't think the ending is like some crazy plot twist. I'm sure other people can see it coming, but for me, I felt emotional just because I was so invested in the story, and then I feel for these characters. So when they are sad, I felt sad as well. This book gets 5 stars for me. And then I cannot wait for the next book. I think I recommend reading this during the fall just because the atmosphere is just so good for fall. So thank you for watching me talk to myself, hearing my inner monologues about The Knight and the Moth. And I hope this was useful in making you decide if you should pick up Knight and the Moth. Finally, I hope you have a great day, a great week, a great month, a great year.